Hi, boys and girls. So, I thought I would do a wee bit of talk around emotions this week and just kind of explain our emotions and feelings a bit better. So, when we think about emotions, we have to think they are our body's way of communicating, our brain's way of communicating how we feel. And that's why we call them feelings sometimes. And these feelings or emotions are really good for us, they're really good to explain what's going on. So, in times of change, we might feel a certain way. We might have anger and sadness and be overwhelmed and have happiness and laughter all mixed in together. And that's okay because our body is processing what's going on. It's giving us that experience. It is how we are feeling. And we have to really recognise that there's no such thing as a bad emotion. And I know some emotions get a really bad rep. Some have really, if I asked primary ones what is a bad emotion, they would tell me anger, sadness, being scared are a bad emotion. They're not a bad emotion. There's no such thing as a bad emotion. These are emotions that are uncomfortable. And they're uncomfortable because they have a purpose. They have a purpose on telling us that something isn't right. We get sad when we miss people, when someone says something we don't like, when someone passes away. They give us a reason to communicate. They have communicated that we are not in a good place, and that sadness allows us to express that you are not in a good place emotionally. Anger's the same. And anger is an emotion we can feel and it can be really strong. But the reason anger gets a bad reputation is because how some people react. Some people get aggressive and they throw things and don't do what they say, or they hit people, and that can be really scary for other people. But actually, anger lets us know that there is something not right. There is some sort of thing going on in our bodies and in our brains that's not right. Something that we don't like. And usually, anger and fear come from the same place, they come from the same part of the brain. So sometimes when we hear something we don't like, we respond in anger when actually we're just scared or unhappy with the response that we've been given. So the last one, fear, is something that comes again from the part of the brain that I've talked about before, the amygdala, and that can have lots of different responses. We can be frightened. We can not do something. It helps us resist from doing something that might actually put us in harm's way. But it also can make us angry or overly emotional and cry. And that's what happens with all emotions. All emotions are so interlinked that sometimes we cry when we're happy, we cry when we're sad, we cry when we're angry, we cry when we're scared. These emotions are all interlinked so that we recognize that we are emotional, that our brain can communicate to us. And it's about exploring how we can help these emotions, exploring what these emotions are trying to tell us. Because sometimes we say that we're scared when really we're sad. Sometimes we say we're sad when we're angry. Sometimes we say we're happy when we're sad. Sometimes we say we're sad when we're happy. These are all different and complicated. They're hard things. They're not easy to understand our emotions. So the more we can explore how our feelings actually feel, the better. So what I want you to do, boys and girls, is I want you to draw a picture of yourself. Now, you can do this two ways. You can get an adult to help you and you can lie down on a couple of pieces of paper and draw around yourself, or you can draw yourself on different pictures, or if you want, You can draw a gingerbread man or print one off if you've got a printer. And what I want you to do is get 4 different coloured pens. Now, if you've been in my primary 6 or 7 class, you'll have done this before. But what I want you to do is to get a pen that represents happy, one that represents sad, one that represents angry, and one that represents fear. Now, these can be any colour you want. You pick your sad colour, happy colour, scared colour, angry colour. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down, using each of these pens, what does happiness feel like? So you pick up your happy colour. Mine is pink. So I pick up my pink pen and I write what these feelings actually feel like. What happens in my body when I feel happy? What do people see? What do I feel? Now, a lot of people write all the things that make them happy. Now, that's a completely different exercise. That's a completely different thing, because what makes us happy is not different from us knowing when we're happy. And then we're going to do the same for sad, scared, and angry. You can do it all in the one picture. You can have 4 separate pictures. I would like to see it all in the one picture, because then you can see how the emotions are all the same, or they have similarities all in the one picture. So again, you might write cry for happy, cry for sad, cry for angry. You might have different responses. You might smile when you're happy but not when you're anything else. You may feel stressed. You may notice things in your body. Whatever it is for you, boys and girls, I want you to start exploring, how do your feelings feel? Now, if you're really struggling with this, then you can come back. You can do it a wee bit later, or you can ask an adult for help and do it with someone. And sometimes it's a good way, because I normally do this exercise as a group, but actually to really feel what our feelings feel like and to be able to talk about that is a really important bit of understanding why our brain communicates the way it does. So I will speak to you later, boys and girls. Bye.